talking about what Anam's Week is all about. Who will take that?
Samson?
Anam's Week is a Kenyan-made psychological thriller, a feature film that will be premiering on the 31st of July at Prestige Cinemas. It follows the story of a young girl called Anam. Awake in Kiswahili is mazishi, is matanga. So that's what Awake is. So it follows the story of Anam, a young college girl who is also working part-time alongside her family as a professional mourner, which has always looked like something that she probably didn't know much. So as she's on the journey of finding her identity, she is one night faced with this specific wake as a professional mourner, where she has to help her family go through the process of grieving, and she, in that process, meets her unresolved grief with the loss of her mother several years before that.
Okay, okay.
Yes.
Brenda, who do you play in the film?
I play Nyawira, Anam's mother. Yes.
Yeah.
So Nyawira is from a background where we have a tradition of holding the wake, the mourning culture. Basically, it's an African story of how we mourn and how we captivate different ways of mourning and dealing with trauma, dealing with the memories of the lost ones. So Nyawira, yeah, she's the mom, and she brings a child to this life.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of family tradition, she has to introduce someone to the line as well. So that's where Anam comes in.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So now to the casting director. Your work, I may say, is one of the hardest jobs, because you need to find the right people that will bring out exactly what you want people to get from the film. I think that is the toughest job. So from a casting director's perspective, when you were casting for this particular film, what did you want to have?
So yeah, my work for Anam's Week, that's our poster for Anam's Week. Yeah, for Anam's Week it was pretty much intentional. The director knew exactly what he wanted, so it was very objective. When you find a director who knows exactly what they want, and they have a clear story, they are seeing the cast in their mind, it becomes quite an intentional process. It was very intense, just given that Likarion had 21,000 drafts.
21,000.
Yeah, and so by, like he had all these ideas of who he wanted and what he was seeing for the story. It goes even beyond the look. It goes into language, into the kind of tone and just matching, because this is a family story, so you have to match a family. And so he was so intentional about it, and that helped, because as opposed to being subjective while casting, we were very, very much objective with it. And so we have a beautiful cast. We have Samson, we have Brenda here, we have Marima, who is on the poster. She's our lead.
Is that Anam?
Yes, this is Anam. Yeah, this is Anam. So we have Marima, we have Gadoni Mutua, we have Peter Kawa, we have young upcoming Vanessa and Pras Jadi as well.
We have Maureen.
Ruth.
We have Ruth Apondi, who is a legend. She was on Tausi back in the day on KBC.
Yeah.
Maureen.
We also have Maureen Mudoni.
Okay.
Yeah, amongst others as well. A great supporting cast and background as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Now, I know there are very many actors out here who keep saying they don't find jobs. They don't find these jobs, They really try, but they don't find these jobs. For you, as someone who's maybe been casted on this, and also I'm sure you've been casted on other shows, just what would you say maybe you think made you stand out for that role that you're playing?
I think above all else, an actor needs to keep showing up. You show up every day. I think rejection, for lack of a better term, is is a part of the process, because unlike other jobs who probably a doctor just needs to interview once to be at a hospital, an actor, you do one, it gets to an end, you have to interview for another one. So it's not at all times that the role may fit you. You may be a great actor, but as she said, for example, in the casting, she had to look for a family. So you may be a great actor, but if, for example, they had decided about Anam and they're looking for her mother, and you don't look like her mother, doesn't mean you're a bad actor. It just means you don't probably fit into the palette of the film. I think what probably, for me, I don't know what exactly made them think that I stand out, but training goes a long way into at least sharpening in the skills of whichever part of career that you're a part of. I am a classically trained actor. Just like an engineer goes to school to get their 7 years of training, I have my 6 years, well, plus
6 years.
6 years of professional training in film. And above that, away from that, as I was training, I think I also took it upon myself to practice what and experiment here and there. So I think for me, it's been the training and the consistent practice and showing up and giving up today, showing up again tomorrow, giving up again and showing up. And I think it just gets better at the end of the day. So for anyone, I think, just keep going. It takes a couple of years. Most of the people who look like overnight successes are not overnight successes. There's someone you see that an overnight success after probably 10 years of work.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I like that. For you, Brenda, I'm sure you are not a new face. You're a familiar face. You know, you have been part of a show that was popular and all of that. So, of course, people know you, right?
Yeah.
So, what would you say for you makes you stand out? And maybe what, for someone who's just starting up right now, what do you know now that you wish you knew while starting up that they would pick as a lesson?
One thing I normally, okay, let me start from the audition when they say we need actors. I tend to look at the character, and I'm not a casting director, but you as a person, you'd also know your capability. What can I do? To what extreme or to what, you know? So before I go for any auditions, I ask myself, is this something I could wake up and do? Or do I need to be pushed to do it? How would I feel if I was this character? Would I feel compressed or, you know, easy to go with it? So with all the years I've been in the industry, I would advise not every character is yours. You need to understand what also works for you as an actor.
Oh.
Just like you said, even if you're a good actor, there are things, obviously, you can't, you know, no matter how hard you do, you can't be there. For example, this is just an example, don't take it badly. I see an audition where they need slay queens.
Okay.
In real life, even if I try to hack it, I can't be a slay queen. So definitely, if I see that, I'll be like, my slay queen ain't any. Let me take a chill pill.
But it's called acting. It's not you are acting it out.
Yes. But also, remember, acting is being a character you are not. But are you as a person, before you create that character, how do you feel when you're in that character? Because you have to be comfortable to do that character before you do that character. So if you're not comfortable doing that character, it will be seen when you're acting that you're only doing it for the money and not really because you're comfortable doing it. Yes.
Oh, that's the first time I've heard that. So I've never looked at it from that perspective. For me, and I'm speaking from someone who's looking at it from the outside, you know, I think when you're called for a role, it doesn't matter if you can fit it in terms of your personality or whatever. But I was thinking, since it's acting, I can just try and be that person.
And I think also, again, on the other hand, I think those who will be able to come and watch the film will attest that you'll be watching people doing things they've not done before, the actors. I think for me, for example, I think on the film, I am doing something I've never done before. It's a character that does not exist in any reality that someone has been able to witness. It's not something that I would say that this is something that I have done before or something anyone I know has been before. It's an imagination of a world that unless you just experience during the... So I think also as much as there's a diagnosis of these are my limits of what I could do, it also goes a great way to say, mi nimechoka kuonwa hivi. This is what I want to do. Sindio?
Okay.
Yeah,
so there's different perspectives to that, and it depends with the individual. For you, you feel you have to do something that you can see yourself doing it. For him, as he's saying, it can be anything. So it depends. All right, we'll get back to the conversation. I want us to get to watch a bit of the trailer so that we get to understand what exactly we are looking at. So if you can have the trailer up.
Do you just do it for the pay?
Na kazi yako kulialia.
What hatuliliwa till we grieve so the dead can find passage. He opened the wrong door at the wrong time. The wrong thing passes through. Uko sure atakuja? He's coming.
Death always arrives. When he arrives, ibiromieka. Timbondo. Kikilur. Kikirenge. Usiogope. You know you might not be ready to meet him, but I promise you, yuko tayari kupatana nawe.
Right, and that is a bit of a trailer, and that's the trailer for Anam's Wake. It's good that you came with your poster.
Yes.
We want them to look at it and see it and just have it here.
So one of the themes, and I think this is the biggest theme that is coming out of this, is on grief.
Yes.
So if you can just speak a bit about it. And this is something that mainly we don't get to talk about as much because everyone grieves differently and all of that. So from the film, what are we getting from, or what are we getting as a topic from grief?
I feel as individuals, we grieve differently. So this film, even from the director's standpoint, he's expressing his grief in a way, and even on the film itself, the way the actors portray and carry the story of grief is very special. Of course, they've built a world around it, and so as anyone and everyone who has had loss and has had to go through some sort of grief, you will find yourself asking yourself so many questions. And again, it cuts through traditions and practices, especially as Africans and in a society where we have so much in terms of tradition and how we negotiate with death, because this is, a story where, there's a negotiation of sorts with the living and the world of death and transition, And so that is carried in that story, and I feel like anyone who will watch the film will relate to it because we've all at some point had loss. We've all at some point grieved in one way or the other. And so I feel like it's a welcome for us all to just sit around the topic of death that we ran away from, the topic of tradition, the topic of being Africans and the way we conduct our own ways around death, around transition, around mourning, and just the long-term grief.
Okay, as we finalize,
Probably just to add on, this film for me came at after a long period of grief, and I think the film was probably the final step of me being able to understand my grief, to confront what I was feeling, to confront those who had left. Because sometimes people die and they leave you angry at them or angry at yourself. And being able to confront that, and being able to confront them, I think this film is a great pointer towards the society, because it's not just a creative piece of work. It goes with a lot of research. It refers to a lot of scholarly work about grief. I remember even in the preparation, when I was asking the producer and the director about some of the things that I could refer to, one of the books that they referred to is a published book by Malidoma Patrice called Of Water and Spirit, which has a scholarly excellence on the African way of grieving and just understanding why in the previous years our grandmothers and our fathers did things in that specific way when someone died. So I think this film will be a great opportunity for anyone who is coming to watch to be able to confront grief. And it's not just grief of the loss of someone. It could be the grief of loss of a partner, a divorce, like just something that you lost. Yes, of a job, like anything, like just any unresolved loss that lets people live with a lot of anger and not being able to pursue your identity, such that it gets to a point where it just feels like all your identity is your pain and your trauma. We are in a society, I think, where a lot of young people are now trying to label themselves with their pain. I have ADHD, and it just looks like a very beautiful symbol. Well, that's not really the case. We still have our identities that we can face and take a good hold of after we've let go of the pains that we're not able to deal with. So Anam's Wake, come and wake.
Yeah. So for you, without maybe giving out too much, what was your favorite bit of the show? Tukimaliza sasa. The favorite, maybe a scene that you can mention without giving away too much, or if you want to give away too much, it's also fine.
My favorite scene?
Yeah.
Opening up to my daughter. After, after I left her without telling her where I was going.
Okay.
Yes.
That was your favorite scene?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's premiering on the 31st?
Yes.
Where exactly?
At Prestige Cinema, Longong Road.
On the 31st of July. The tickets are now regular 2,500.
Yeah.
They can be bought on new.mook.com. Yeah, so we want everyone to come through for the premiere and even thereafter for the cinema run. Yes, the tickets are 2,500 Kenya shillings, regular tickets.
Sawa, sawa.
Yes.
There we have it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, and they can also follow Anam social handles, Anam's Wake, to get more details on the show and the time and the outfit.
Oh,
for the red carpet.
For the red carpet. So please go follow Anam's Wake Film on all social media handles, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Of course, and Twitter. Yes.
Okay. There you have it. For me, 31st ishajipa, so niwewe tu sa ujipange vile inafaa so that you're not left out. This is where we end this particular interview, but do not go too far. We are coming back with music, yes, and then we have Shiko and Stevo Simple Boy coming up next, so don't go too far.
Kelly, toka hapa. Hata mimi niko na watoto wangu.
Akimam, tafadhali. Naomba tu niruhusu tunimalize shule. Tafadhali, ma'am.
Hello, Calvin. I've got a job for you. And you must stay there.
Rick on the beat.